Great. I'll say what everybody's thinking. That court needs to drink more water. Is all I'm saying.
Oh.
Hey, let's stay in Group West C. Steph Curry and the Dubs, they're 2-0. Ball. Easy find. Golden State up a 3 spot. We're 6 minutes into the fourth quarter. Golden State with a 5-point lead. It's Andrew Wiggins. Look at the move. Spinning, running, kissing. Randy Scott on a playground. Back in your elementary days.
I was like, wait a second.
Back in your elementary days.
Please specify
Warriors
that.
up 8. Wiggins with a season high 30. And then Draymond to Steph. Finishes in reverse. 19 points, 7 boards, 7 dimes. Trey Murphy, 3 of his 24, led New Orleans in scoring. And then Jeremiah Robinson Earl, he'll hit a corner triple. He had 19 points. New Orleans keeping it close. It's a 3-point game. What's B.I. going to do? He's going to find Murphy, who hits another 3. Home bounce. New Orleans down just 2. We're inbounding the ball. Draymond looking for somebody. Okay, we're calling a timeout. Let's draw something up. Warriors advance the rock with 11 seconds to go. B.I. getting a little handsy. Brandon Boston gets the steal on the other end. Ingram eventually going to find Murphy in the corner. Wing 3, no. All right, and then chaos ensues here. Robinson Earl called for a personal on Draymond Green. They try to review it. It looked like he was going for ball. Draymond had 11 points. That probably the non-measurable play of the game that he made. It withstood. Warriors get the win, 112-108. So the Dubs improved to 3-0 out west in Group C and have clinched first place in that group. Meanwhile, the Pelicans, they've been eliminated from knockout contention thanks to that loss and the Mavericks win over the Nuggets.
But there's not just a good chance that the Dubs win their group. Odds makers, they have them as the favorite to reach the championship of the NBA Cup among Western Conference teams. The Mavericks and Nuggets playing in the second game here on ESPN, they are also in the mix. Welcome to NBA Countdown alongside our senior writer, Brian Winhurst, Bob Myers, Kendrick Perkins. I'm Malika Andrews.
What?
Looking good, gentlemen.
We got a lot going on. You know what? Look, Bob is iced out today. You know what? I bought these necklaces with the money that Bob actually negotiated for me on my largest NBA contract, like some 14, 15 years ago.
So can I take this home?
We'll think about it. It depends on how you.
How does it? What do you
It
really
depends
think
on
like?
how you behave today.
I am the only person up here not wearing diamonds.
Yeah.
I am going to be calling my
Mindy,
agent on a break.
We can change that.
could have asked him if he had any extra necklaces.
The Golden
had
State
another one in
Warriors,
his bag.
though, yeah, probably. Speaking of hardware, the Golden State Warriors have plenty. Bob Myers knows that. What do you think that they can learn about themselves as you're looking at this NBA Cup where they have a chance to advance?
Yeah, I think this actually has great value for them because they are doing an experiment this year. They are experimenting whether this team, this system, they can play 12 guys and all together, and even though they're young and even though they have smaller roles, that this can work and compete in a championship.
Draymond Green anchoring that defense. They're number one in perimeter defense. Here's the thing, though. I believe that the Warriors are legit title contenders. But I need to know, Bob, do you believe that they're legit?
I think they're going to win it every year, Bert. Every year.
Really?
No. Yeah, look, I didn't going into the season. But now that I got this thing on, I feel very confident in the things I say. I feel good. You know what? They have certainly looked like it. Yeah. Why not? I mean, the West, here's why I will say why not. I'm actually surprised the West hasn't looked as strong as it has. In 22, I remember when I was there, we huddled up. I was talking to Mike Dunleavy, and he said, this is our chance because there's no dominant team. I feel like there's no dominant team. We can talk about a team that I mentioned as my finals favorite in the West. That was Oklahoma City. I still think they're going to be hard to get around, but that's the only team. That's the only one I see as an obstacle for the Warriors right now.
The reason that Oklahoma City and Golden State are so fascinating is that both of them are good and they're upwardly mobile. They can improve their rosters during the season. Now, Sam Presti, the president of the Thunder, has come out and said, I don't think we're going to make any trades this year. Mike Dunleavy has said the exact opposite. They could look to do trades.
And when mentioning trades, I'm looking at Jonathan Kuminga. Started the season in the starting lineup, now moved to the bench. Some nights he's playing 20 plus, some nights he's not. Didn't get his contract extension. So if it's one player to look at that they can move to upgrade and get better, That's that guy.
But I think the West has been so uncertain as well because of all the injuries we've seen to teams that we expected maybe to be a little bit more dominant.
Wanna try to post at what I look like. Get them saying, try to wear, pull up long range. No, to me with the heat, I'm on fire.
Talent. But the team, the guys that you replace that talent with are more reliant on the great players. You look at Denver's roster, Christian Brown, Peyton Watson, Julius Randle. They know they can't freelance out there. They don't have the freedom. They don't have the leash to do it. So they're constantly playing through Jokic, which means Jokic's usage goes up, which is a good thing. I think the Warriors are the same thing. And I think one of the reasons you're recognizing a pep in Draymond step this year is because they brought in some guys. They maybe lost some guys, including Klay Thompson, who maybe wanted to break from the script a little bit. And they have a bunch of guys that are like, if I'm going to play minutes, I have to get with the system. I have to get with the program. Got to cut hard, screen hard, space properly, and defend my tail off. And that's what the Warriors have. They run 11 deep right now, but the guys they are bringing in are all part of the system. And that means Steph is getting to operate a little bit more. Draymond's getting to operate as the fulcrum a little bit more. And sometimes emphasizing who and what you are and what makes you great is better than even having more talent, but de-emphasizing those things. And I think that's what's going on with the Warriors right now.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. And I think that where the most similarities occur when I'm looking at this team and looking at the teams that have contended in the past is the defensive connectivity and energy that this team has is different than what they've had the last couple of years.
Yes.
And you to your point, and the metrics indicate that. And if you go back and look at the teams that won it, like every year they were doing it on both ends of the floor. They were never a team that simply, bombed you out of the building with all their offensive prowess and their scoring and their shot making, even when they had Durant. Like, that wasn't why ultimately they were going to win a title. It was because they also were a top 5 defensive team. In a couple of those years, they were the number 1 defensive team in the league. And they're back to exhibiting that. Their switchability, their attention to detail on that end of the floor. And also they're getting contributions from like a Trace Jackson Davis, which is important. Like, they needed more athleticism and activity in the middle. They're getting that. Kuminga is a guy now I'm starting to think, okay, look, maybe he's just never going to break through to be that level offensive player on a good team that we thought he could be. He's back coming off the bench. He's got an important role. His defense is probably even more important than his offense on this team. Because they got a lot more balance amongst their role players, and Buddy Hield has picked up a lot of the offense. They don't need Kuminga to get 20 to compete. They did the last couple of years. That's not the case now. They need more on-the-ball pressure, guarding all kinds of guys all over the floor. He's doing that. So I think their defense, to me, and their frenetic energy, and this is a pretty high-scoring game for two teams that I thought really competed defensively every possession last night. Golden State, to me, that's why I'm looking at them, Adam, and I'm saying this isn't just, they got out of the gate quickly like some teams do. No, that's not what this is, man. This is a really good team. Give them credit for rebuilding this thing and giving themselves another chance to be in the mix and make another run at it.
The last thing about the Warriors' offense here, the clutch time was so interesting between these two teams. And again, this was a tougher game in some ways, I think, for Dallas than it was for the Warriors, because the Dallas had Klay. And to your point, you said early they were going to him. I thought even late. And he delivered, by the way. He had a couple nice drives. He did some stuff. But even late, there was a little like, do you want to do something with the ball right now? And you kind of attack. But what I thought was interesting is late game offense for the Warriors. New personnel, same story. They run that twist action, and there was a great breakdown by Joe Verret over on, I think, Golden State of Mind blog. There was a great breakdown of what they do, but lots of teams do this. Twist action at the end of the games. Guard-to-guard screen to get the switch you want. In this case, it was Luka Doncic onto Steph Curry. And then a secondary screen to come up, a ball screen, and you can run action out of it. They scored 8 straight points in the clutch. So I should say Steph Curry scored 8 straight points in the clutch off of that action, and it was a different look each time. Because that action, when you get to stack the deck and say, we want these guys defending and these guys operating in the pick and roll, Steph Curry is so good, he knows exactly. One of them was a switch, one of them was a drive, and one of them was a quick 3 right when the big was supposed to step up. If you're a half second late, that's enough daylight for Steph to hit a 3. And I look at that and I go, Late game offense is about execution and identity. The Warriors already have the same identity with new personnel. And guess what? Steph Curry hasn't forgotten how to punish you when you don't operate your pick and roll defense exactly perfectly. And that's why I'm buying them. They can score in the clutch because they've done it for 10 years.
Yeah, and look, on a night when Steph Curry has it going, which he had it in this game right from the get-go, so he was hot the entire night. He just was in that rhythm and flow, and you can imagine that was to be expected, the way he was going to dial in and hone in because of the magnitude of the game and Clay coming back and all that. And look, Steph wanted to outshine him, and look, he's going to get more opportunities. He's a better offensive player. I get it. But, Steph, and you could see it when he hit the game winner and some of the words he had for the camera and pointing at his number and holding his jersey and some of the things he was saying to that crowd, right? He was basically saying, look, it's great. Clay's back. Draymond's here even. You're Steve Kerr sitting over there. But guess what? I built this dynasty. I built this thing. This thing's built around me. And he was reminding people of that. And so, Adam, when he got it going throughout the game, now late game execution on ball screens against him is more important than ever. And he knew the spots he wanted to get to, and it requires perfect execution. It requires perfect personnel that's involved in some of those switches and decisions, and they didn't have it. And so he was making shots that he wanted to get. He was hunting that opportunity because of the way that he was feeling, and there was absolutely no doubt whatsoever in his mind where that ball was going to end up. So he took over the game late when he had to. And he delivered, and there's something real. And look, by the way, I'm really lucky because I'm going there Friday night. I'm in LA tonight. I've got Memphis and LA tonight in Los Angeles. And then I travel up the road a little bit tomorrow, and I got Memphis Golden State on Friday night. It's too bad we're not going to get John Morant, but still, I'm going to be in that building because I know the environment in there is as good or better than any environment in the league when the Warriors are playing like this. So I'm very lucky. I'm going to get to sit there and watch Steph Curry. I'm lucky these next two games. I was thinking about it last night, Adam. I get LeBron James tonight and Steph Curry on Friday night, sitting courtside, best seat in the house, watching these two really national treasures, if you love basketball, get to do it again. You never know how many more times you're going to get to call games or see games live where those guys are playing. So I'm really lucky that I'm going to get to be in that building on Friday night to see the Warriors.
That would be incredible. You also get Luka and Jokic next week, so you have a nice little 2-week run going right now. Some good Western Conference hoops. Going back to the Warriors now, so we talked about their offense, executing. Steph Curry, I loved your point about the spots. He knows the spots because that last one he got on Lively, he put him to sleep. He drags him right to the top of the key. Warriors space perfectly. And there's no more uncomfortable feeling in the NBA than a center switched out onto Steph Curry with the game on the line. That's the most uncomfortable. And he put him right in the spot. Got him, kind of got him turned around, stepped back, and you knew that shot was in. The moment he got the space, I was watching that and I go, I think he's going to clear space. And once he got the space before he even shot it, you go, there it is. That's the game. And
real quick on that. And here's what he relies on. And it's impossible for a center, particularly a shot blocking, rim protecting center, to not overreact to Steph's jab step. Like that first step he takes off the dribble, like he's going to try to go by you. And now you're going to swivel your hips and turn and retreat because everything in a guy like Derek Lively's mind, Gafford's mind is, I can't let this guy blow by me and get to the rim. Like my job is to protect the rim. So as soon as he puts that little juke move where it looks like he's going to go by, their overreaction to that is all Steph's counting on because now he's going to step back. There's no way a guy that size is going to be able to turn and react quick enough to really get an honest contest on that. Steph knew exactly the shot he was going to get, and he knew exactly what Lively was going to do in reaction to his first move toward the rim, because it's impossible to prevent your body from doing that if you're Lively. That's what you're trained to do your whole life. So, and he counted on that, and he spun him, and he got just enough separation. And at that point, when Steph Curry's that hot and feeling it to that extent, that's literally as easy.
Thank you for watching so far. Leave your comment below and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any detail. A hug and see you next time.